Canada, a nation celebrated for its world-class healthcare, kind people, and stunning natural beauty. But it's now grappling with a growing crisis.
25% tariffs we just brought in on Chinese steel.
Yeah,
Can I help you out?
that's going to keep my job,
Yeah, it's going to
yeah.
be job.
What about the 40% taxes I'm paying, and I don't have a doctor?
The $400 million in the invest in the card means you're going to have a job for
I think you're only here for
years
another year. We won't see you around probably another year.
Well, that's what elections are for.
That's right.
And I look forward to everyone exercising the right to vote.
Yep.
Basic choice. We're going to invest in you and your jobs.
I don't believe you for a second.
The rising cost of living that's squeezing everyday Canadians' wallets. From the unaffordable housing market.
We're going to bring homes people can afford. We know why housing prices are rising. We don't have enough homes. Vancouver is now the third most expensive housing market in the world, worse than New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, London, England, and even Singapore. Why? Well, we have the fewest houses per capita on planet Earth. Why is that? Well, according to the CMHC, in a report that just came out yesterday, Vancouver and Toronto are the slowest to deliver building permits. Slow permits mean higher prices, and higher prices mean Canadians can't afford to put roof overhead.
The rising price of groceries.
More and more people are compromising nutrition due to high food prices.
It's extremely hard because there are large grocery store monopolies that are trying to milk the maximum profit.
You gotta make ends meet, and just whatever fits the budget is whatever I'm eating for the day.
The financial strain is getting too much.
A new survey found nearly half of Canadians have reduced the quantity of meat they buy, while 45% are prioritizing cost over nutritional value, with consequences extending well beyond their wallet.
But how did we get here? For a country that has so much potential to be a global dominator in all sectors, has operated at a very low level for over a decade now. But the biggest thing that has Canadians swinging the political pendulum the other way is just the current cost of living.
It is Labor Day in Canada, and thousands in Toronto are marching for the labor movement.
Workers are saying, a lot of them are saying to me, life is not affordable. It's tough. By the time I finish paying rent, I don't have enough. By the time I spend so long to travel, I don't have time for my kids.
In major cities across Canada, the average home price is over $1 million. And the cost of gasoline remains high, with the average price per liter being $1.70. But this is just the surface of all of the expenses. In this video, I'm going to deep dive into the facts of Canada's cost of living crisis, discuss the role that Justin Trudeau has played in this, and figure out where it went wrong. We have to go back to when everything was more normal and pretty good. And newsflash, it was before Justin Trudeau. Now, Stephen Harper may have been controversial with his insane budget cuts and his fiscal responsibility, but the average price of a home when he left office in 2015 was just $400,000. Now, it seems like I'm talking about the 90s, but it wasn't that long ago. We're only talking 8-9 years ago. So for housing prices to double, more than double, 1.5x from $400,000 to $1 million, that is absolutely insane. There's no mistake about it or coincidence. For housing prices to 1.5x in just 8 years, starting at the time when Justin Trudeau came into office, there's no, does correlation lead to causation argument? Yes, insane spending and money printing is going to inflate asset prices. We already know this. Now, the average cost of groceries for a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 children used to be $8,000 a year. Now it's $13,000 a year, adjusted for inflation, yes. So if we were living in 2015 times, but today, in today's money, and if Stephen Harper was the prime minister, we'd be paying the equivalent of $8,000 a year in groceries rather than $13,000. That is crazy. The federal debt level when Harper left was at $600 billion. Now it's $1.2 trillion. Again, doubled. And when Harper left, federal spending was $270 billion a year. Now, $400 billion a year. That's just for running the economy. Government jobs, infrastructure, social programs, almost double the amount of debt. Are we getting double the amount of parks and better roads? No, it's the exact same or worse. So where's all the money going? Now, we can talk about this for literally hours, and I would love that. But let's break down the main reasons of what's causing the explosion in budget spending, in misspending, leading causes to inflation. And that is, number one, the carbon tax. This is something I always harper about. This is something I always talk about. And the carbon tax has so many unintended consequences that the average citizen really has no idea. And I don't think even politicians, most of them, have any idea. The carbon tax is a feel-good tax. It's supposed to really de-incentivize us to drive around the country. And the carbon tax is putting a price on pollution.
So we said pollution will have a price on it.
Okay, so again, it's supposed to de-incentivize you to use your car. Reality is, in Canada, I don't know about you, we don't have European cities. Everything is so far away. For me to go to the grocery store and drive to Costco is 20 minutes. It's so spread out in Canada. We don't have these little 15-minute cities in most of our provinces across Canada like we do in Europe. When we go to travel Europe every single fall with my family, it's awesome. I like that. We get one Airbnb, literally within a 15-minute walking radius. Everything you need is there. Every grocery you need, every bakery, whatever. Europe has thought about it because it's been around for a lot longer than Canada has. It's thought about how to build its cities. Canada is a sprawl type of thing. You have to drive everywhere to get to anything, to a library, to a baseball field, to a park for your kids, to the grocery store. Everything requires a car. So the reality is, upping the price of gas isn't going to stop us from using it. We still need to use it. So the only thing you're doing is hurting the actual citizens. Now, it's not just a tax on gas to make it a little more expensive to dissuade us from driving. No, it makes everything else more expensive. If you make gas more expensive, you make everything more expensive, which is something I don't really think Trudeau understands. The farmers who need diesel and gas to run their machines and run their tractors, it's going to increase their cost of growing their food. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to pass that extra cost on to the grocery store. And the grocery store is going to charge more. But before we get there, the truckers have to drive it to the grocery store. Well, their gas costs more. They're going to pass it on to the grocery store again. So it's all coming down to the grocery store. Now, what do you think Gale and Weston and the grocery stores are doing? They're not going to, take a hit on their profit margins. They're going to go, okay, these clothes items, these items here cost more to get here. Well, we're going to raise our prices and pass that on to the customer. So not only is the customer, us, paying more on gas, 60 cents per liter of gas is carbon tax. Don't forget that. If we didn't have a carbon tax like America or the rest of the world, our gas right now would be about $1.10 Canadian. Wouldn't that be sweet? No. Now it's $1.60, $1.70. So we have that extra cost. Then we're paying a carbon tax on the food we buy at the grocery stores, on the clothes we're buying, on the shoes we're buying, on this microphone that I bought. I'm paying a carbon tax on everything because it's upping the price of everything. So Justin Trudeau can sit there and say, well, we're giving back money to the citizens. You're getting money back for the carbon tax. Cool. It's a fraction because everything costs more. The electricity, the natural gas to run my furnace and my barbecue outside. In order to get that here, a trucker had to drive it. That got taxed. This got taxed. This got taxed. My computer got taxed. My food got taxed. My water bottle, my phone, everything's getting taxed with the carbon tax. Tax on a tax on a tax on a tax. Now, on top of that, we have our government, Trudeau, spending more than we're bringing in, than we're making. Now, this is a real hot topic that I would love to spend hours on. So not only are we not bringing in income, our business, Canada is a business, it ain't doing well right now. Why? Nobody wants to join our business, which means entrepreneurs, home builders, investors, they don't want to be here. They don't want to make their companies here in Canada, which will create jobs, which will create little taxpayer worker bees. That's how it works, dude. I don't know if you ever heard that before, if you ever thought of it that way, but that's what it is. And that's why big companies like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or even myself, a business owner. When you're a business owner, you get a lot of tax breaks. We get to do what's called write-offs. If things cost us money and we can make them look like they cost us money, we can write it off, lowering our income. This is smart. Don't get mad at the rich. You should learn how to do it. Everybody should learn how to do it. It's your patriotic duty to pay as little taxes as possible. Why? That means you're giving to society. You're creating something. You're creating jobs. You're creating homes, right? That's why myself as a real estate investor, that's why I love real estate so much. I get to do what's called depreciation on the properties I buy. What does that mean? I get to lower my income. Let's say I make over $1 million a year, but I buy a lot of real estate. I can say that one property is going to cost me $200,000 a year in depreciation if it's a bigger property, right? It's crumbling. It's losing value essentially. And the government goes, yeah, you're right. Now, if I make $1 million a year, right, and I buy 5 big properties that I can depreciate my income, $200,000 on each one, I made $1 million, but I lost $1 million. Lost $1 million. I still own that property. It's appreciating in value. It's got tenants in there. I'm providing housing. And the government goes, shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, but you're actually our best friends. For you guys doing real estate, I'm going to give you all of these tax treatments that nobody really knows about. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. You need to know about these things. So if I make $1 million and I write off $1 million for my gas, my cell phone, right? I have a cell phone. You have a cell phone. I get to write it off. You don't. My gas, my internet, my computers. I get to write off my computers. I depreciate these properties, right? I didn't lose that money. We all are paying that money, but I lowered my income to zero. But I made $1 million in my pocket. Tax free. Can't touch it, boy. Can't touch it, boy. This is how the world works, guys. Now, I'm being a little bit of a fucking ass here and a jackass, so you understand and you get it. And I want you to get mad at me. I want you to get mad. You should be mad. You should be learning this stuff. We were never taught this in school. Nobody taught us about taxes. But if the government is going to be so irresponsible in spending like a fucking psycho, sending money to Ukraine and all these countries that they do need help, they need the money. They just don't need our money. Not right now, especially. The money stays in Canada. That's what I would do if I was prime minister. You ain't getting it. Unless you're fucking part of NATO and you're getting bombed and like you know, it's part of our agreement to help you, then we'll help you. But if you're not part of that, I ain't giving you shit because my streets are crumbling. My people need it. I got people in tents everywhere. The money stays in Canada. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic here. But if they're going to spend like a madman, fuck them. You need to learn how to use the tax system to your advantage. And nobody knows this shit. And that's why I look at it. I don't care, really, of what Trudeau does. I don't really care if Pierre gets in. I hope he gets in. I'll feel better emotionally about Canada. But is he going to affect my wallet? No. Is Trudeau going to affect my wallet? Matt Pichet's wallet? No. I don't fucking care. I'm not a victim to his shit. For one, I'm getting out of this country. All of my assets are now in the U.S. Our business is in the U.S. We're soon filing for visas to live in the U.S. and to renounce my Canadian citizenship. That's a whole other, journey you can follow me on. But I don't care, dude. Even when I get to the U.S., I don't care about Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. I don't care who they throw at me. Gavin Newsom becomes the president. I don't care, dude. I don't want those people to run the country. But if they do, it ain't going to affect me. You need to learn how the game has been laid out. And going to work as a worker bee at the factory, as a carpenter, as a plumber, how's that working out for you? Now look, before you think I'm some fucking white-collar pussy boy, after high school, I did my apprenticeship as a carpenter. I had my own business after that, my apprenticeship, renovating properties for investors. I was swinging the hammer. I was doing it. I know what it's like to be blue-collar. I worked it for like 10 years. All my peers who were in their 40s, 50s, backs all fucked up. They're all miserable, drinking coffee every morning, smoking. Their life fucking sucks. Good people. But I was like, dude, I don't want to do that. Like, that was my parents. Same shit. My friends' parents. It was all the same shit. I don't want to do that. I did it to like see the shit, got my experience, and then I started learning about money and how the world works, how government works, how the stock market works, how real estate investing works. I went, wait a second. I can make like 1 billion times more money, literally, by learning how to do deals, how to negotiate, how to move assets, and more importantly, how to play the tax system. What the fuck am I doing over here swinging a fucking hammer, making $30 an hour, $40 an hour? Everybody walking around making $40 an hour thinking they're fucking top shit. The union guy. We all know the union guy. I make $40, $50 an hour. Fucking fat, shitty, eats Doritos all night, never gets to travel the world, just fucking works all day like a man. Dude, I get hard work. I love hard work. But you ain't working smart. And if the government is going to pull this fucking garbage, you need to learn how to navigate it. So how are we going to improve? Dude, I went way off the rail. If the government is going to misspend and blow the budget and throw out all these wacky, crazy laws, you can't be a victim of it. Don't let yourself. It's your patriotic duty not to. Now, I know you might have been taught, like, it's your duty to pay taxes. The rich should pay taxes. Everybody should pay taxes. Dude, I just figured this out recently. And I've been in this game, this entrepreneur hustle game for, 18 years now, the white collar game. I just came to the realization that you got to pay no taxes. That's what a good citizen should do. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all the guys who own Apple, all these companies, they're the good citizens. Why? They're not paying taxes because they're bringing so much value to society, i.e. jobs. This is the thing. Jeff Bezos is an asshole. He's not paying taxes. Dude, Jeff Bezos, because of him and his genius and his hard work and his mind, he employs, 5,000, 10,000 employees across America, and those 10,000 people pay taxes. More than Jeff Bezos would if you made him pay taxes. Because of him, there's 10,000 jobs. Those 10,000 jobs are taking care of families. They're stimulating the economy. They have dogs and they take vacations 2 weeks a year to Sedona, Arizona or whatever. Because of him, that's happening throughout society. And while you think and while it looks like the government's coming after him, Bernie Sanders, and no, the government, the people who write the IRS bylaws, they're going, good job, Jeff. Good job. You're doing just great. Keep doing what you're doing. We love it. I know we got to make it look like we hate you and you're the bad guy, but really, we love you. We love what you're doing. You got to become one of them. You got to learn the system. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my rant, but I'll see you in the next video.